When 52-year-old multimedia millionaire Eduardo Mendoza was dining at the most exclusive restaurant in Madrid, he never expected a 23-year-old waitress to approach him and say, "Excuse me, sir, but my mother has a ring exactly like yours." Eduardo glanced at his wedding band, the unique heirloom passed down through his family for generations, and felt the world stop. There were only 3 such rings in the world. He wore one. Another had vanished 25 years earlier. And the third was supposed to be buried with the woman he loved most and lost forever. The restaurant La Gastronomica in Salamanca was a playground for Spain's elite. Eduardo Mendoza, 52, a hotel magnate with a luxury chain worth 500 million euros, dined alone at his usual window table. He looked successful, but tired. His perfectly styled silver hair contrasted with his Italian suit worth 3-0, and on his left hand sparkled the unique family signet white gold, sapphire center, diamond Haloa relic over 2 centuries old. He had come to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the company he founded with his late wife Carmen, but the celebration felt empty without her. Carmen had died 5 years ago in a car accident, taking all their future dreams with her. "More wine, Mr. Mendoza?" a gentle voice asked. He looked up to see a young waitress, about 23, with olive skin and kind brown eyes. She wore the restaurant uniform white shirt, black vest. "Yes, please," he replied, noticing her name tag. Sophia. As she poured the wine, Eduardo noticed her hesitation as if she'd seen something astonishing. "Is everything all right?" he asked. Sophia hesitated, biting her lip. "Excuse me, sir, may I ask about your ring?" Eduardo glanced down, puzzled. "My ring?" "Yes," Sophia whispered, leaning in. "My mother has one just like it." Eduardo froze. "That's impossible," he muttered. "This ring is unique. It's been in my family for generations." "I know it sounds strange," Sophia said nervously, "but when I saw yours, I nearly dropped the bottle. It matches my mother's exactly." His heart pounded. The 3 rings had been crafted by his great-grandfather in 1891 for each of his 3 sons. Eduardo inherited one from his father. The second vanished 25 years ago when his twin brother Carlos died in a mountain accident. And the third. "What's your mother's name?" Eduardo asked, his voice trembling. "Carmen Ruiz," Sophia replied. Eduardo felt the world crumble. His late wife was Carmen Mendoza, not Ruiz, and she died 5 years ago. "How old is your mother?" he asked, struggling to stay composed. 47. Sophia paused. "Sir, you look very pale." He did the math. If his Carmen were alive, she'd be 47, exactly Sophia's mother's age. He had attended Carmen's funeral, seen her coffin. "Sophia," he said hoarsely, "I need you to do me a very important favor. Show me a photo of your mother." Sophia looked confused, but pulled out her phone and found a photo. Eduardo stared at the screen as though at a miracle. It was Carmena's Carmen alive, though with shorter hair and a few years on her. But the eyes, the smile, unmistakable. "Are you all right, Mr. Mendoza?" Sophia asked, anxious. "This woman," he pointed at the photo. "Where does she live?" "In Cuenca, sir." "Why do you know her?" He stood abruptly, knocking over his wineglass. Other diners stared. "Sophia," he said, "tell me everything about your mother." "Everything, sir?" she replied, shaken. "You're scaring me." "What's happening?" Eduardo sat to calm himself. "Sorry, your mother resembles someone I once knew." "My mother is Carmen Ruiz," Sophia replied, still nervous. "She's lived in Cuenca as long as I remember. She worked as a secretary until she took early retirement 2 years ago." "And your father?" "No," said Sophia. "My mother says he died in a construction accident when I was a baby." A chill ran down Eduardo's spine. "What kind of work was your father doing?" "An architect. My mother says he perished when a new building collapsed." Eduardo had once worked as an architect before entering the hotel business, and he recalled staging his own death in a construction collapse 25 years ago to escape with Carmen. But the Carmen in the photo was his wife who supposedly died 5 years ago. "Sophia," he said with trembling voice, "when's your birthday?" "March 15. Why was he asking? He thought quickly. Sophia was 23, born March 2000, and 1 exactly 9 months after he last saw Carmen before that staged accident. "Good heavens," he whispered. "It can't be." "Can't be what?" Sophia asked. With the pieces falling into place, he saw the resemblance in nose, brows, slender hands. "Sophia," he continued, "has your mother ever mentioned a man named Eduardo?" "No," Sophia frowned. "She sometimes gets sad when she's had a drink and mentions Eduardo, but never talks more." Tears welled up in Eduardo's eyes. Carmen was alive, Sofia could be his daughter. I need to see your mother, he said, standing. Now? Sofia gasped. But sir, it's after 10, and she's in Quincatwo, hours away. I don't care. Call her and tell her I need to see her, he said. Sofia stepped back. You're really scaring me. What's going on? Eduardo realized he must sound insane. He inhaled deeply to steady himself. Sofia, what I'm going to tell you may sound unbelievable, but I believe your mother might be my wife. My wife? Sofia stared. That can't be. My mother was never married. My wife, Carmen, he said softly, died in a car accident 5 years ago. Or so I thought. She never had an accident. She's alive in Cuenca, Sofia replied. Eduardo removed his ring and showed it. This is exactly like hers. Sofia examined the ring and noticed the inscription. Eternal Lovingly Carmen, and Eduardo knew that secret. Sofia, he said with resolve, I need to travel to Cuenca tonight. Please come with me. But sir, she stammered. I'll take 0 euros for your ride, just need you to escort me home. Sofia paused, then nodded. All right, she said softly. But if this turns out wrong, I will call the police. For the first time in many years, Eduardo smiled. And if I'm crazy, you can. To be continued. At 11 p.m., Eduardo's Audi roared out of Madrid toward Cuenca. Sofia sat in the passenger seat, still nervous, yet curious. Can you tell me what's really happening? She asked. 5 years ago, he said without breaking focus, my wife, Carmen, she died in a car crash. Or so I was told. You really think she's my mother? She asked. The rings, the name, the age, your birthday. Everything fits. They reached Cuenca at midnight. Sofia led Eduardo to a modest flat in the old town. She knocked softly at the door. Mom, it's me, Sofia. The door opened, revealing a woman in a robe, her hair tousled from sleep. Eduardo froze. It was Carmen alive, standing before him, after 5 long years. Eduardo, Carmen whispered. Hello? Oh, Carmen, we have so much to talk about. Carmen looked towards Sofia, tearful. What have you done? Sofia, this is real. He might be my father? Asked Sofia. Carmen covered her face and wept. Come in, she finally said. It was inevitable. In the quiet living room, Carmen, wearing her robe, sat across from Eduardo, tears in her eyes. How long did you know I was alive? Eduardo asked. Always. I never believed you died in that crash. Then why fake your death? He pressed. Carmen inhaled steadily. Because I uncovered your true dealings with Raul Vasquez, money laundering, threats, she explained. Eduardo stiffened. How did you learn about Raul? He followed me for a day, told me if I didn't comply, both of us would be killed. Carmen looked at Sofia, who watched in confusion. Who is Raul Vasquez? She asked. A criminal, Eduardo admitted, voice heavy. Someone I should have never been involved with. Carmen continued. Raul offered a deal if I faked my death and disappeared. You'd be safe. But if I stayed, he'd kill us both. And you agreed? I was 2 months pregnant, Carmen said softly. I couldn't risk our child. Eduardo looked at Sofia, realization in his eyes. Why didn't you tell me? Because if you knew, you'd try to stop me and then we both might have died. Sofia suddenly stood. So I spent 23 years living protecting you, Carmen said fiercely. You told me my father died. I grew up an orphan, Sofia confronted her. Eduardo stepped forward. I'm sorry. If I'd known you existed, he began. Carmen interrupted. After I staged my death, Raul left us alone, but he threatened to kill me if I ever tried to contact you. I lived in fear until he died 5 years ago during gang warfare. I read it in the paper. We were finally free. Then why didn't you return? Eduardo asked. Time passed, she replied. I'm not the same woman I was. Sofia moved to the door. I need air. Time to think. She exited, leaving them alone for the first time in 2 decades. Silence filled the small flat, heavy with unspoken years. She's your twin in spirit, Carmen finally said. In character, she's you. Eduardo replied with a sad smile. Carmen removed her ring and handed it to Eduardo. You should keep this. No, Eduardo shook his head. This ring is yours, always has been. After your death, I left that life. Raul got what he wanted and took away everything that mattered. Carmen looked at him with new understanding. That makes me happy. Carmen, Eduardo said, after all this time, can we try to get to know each other again? We are different people now, she replied. Maybe that's for the best. We can build something new. Sophia returned, tearful but composed. I've thought a lot I want to meet my father, she said. On one condition. Eduardo nodded. Anything. Sophia listed her terms. First, no more lies. Ever. I agree. Second, want to get to know him slowly. Of course, Carmen said. Third promise, you'll never put business above family again. Eduardo took Sophia's hands. I promise. These past 5 years taught me that all the money in the world means nothing without family. Sophia stared, then nodded. Okay, let's try. Carmen hugged them both. Maybe it's not too late to become a family. Eduardo felt something he hadn't in years. Hope. 6 months later, on the terrace of Eduardo's most luxurious Valencia hotel, they gathered for a special celebration. Sophia's 24th birthday, her first with both parents. Months of rebuilding had been slow, but filled with love. Sophia, now studying hotel management thanks to Eduardo, wore a new blue dress. Carmen adjusted her necklace. Eduardo presented a box. Inside was a rose gold ring, matching the same family design, but just for her. Sophia cried as she slipped it on and called Eduardo Dad for the first time. He felt tears fill his eyes as he whispered, I love you, my daughter. Carmen hugged them both. I never believed this day would come. During dinner, Sophia stood to make a toast. 6 months ago, I believed I had no father. Today, we're a family. It hasn't been easy, and we're still learning how to be parents and daughter after so many lost years. But the best families aren't born perfect, they're built with intention. Eduardo raised his glass. To second chances, Carmen added, to love that endures. Sophia smiled. To families who find each other when least expected. 3 years later, Eduardo and Carmen remarried in a small, heartfelt ceremony. Sophia was her mother's maid of honor as they walked down the aisle. Eduardo transferred most of his hotels to a charitable foundation, keeping only 2. Carmen now leads the foundation, supporting families torn apart by deception. Sophia graduated with honors and now manages one of the family hotels, showing she inherited both her father's business talent and her mother's compassion. One evening, they dined on their suburban Madrid terrace. Sophia raised her wine glass. You know what's strange about our story? She asked. What? Her parents answered in unison. It all began because I noticed a ring. If I hadn't been working that night, maybe we'd never have met. Eduardo held Carmen's and Sophia's hands. Fate has mysterious ways of reuniting families. Carmen smiled. Sometimes the most precious things are found when you stop looking. And sometimes, Sophia added, happy endings come when you least expect them. Later, Eduardo looked at the 3 rings, 3 lives, once separated, now reunited. Their story proved that true love can survive decades. Families can be rebuilt even after necessary lies, and that wonders often arrive in unexpected forms like a seemingly ordinary family ring. If this story moved you, leave a 1A below. Have you experienced coincidences that changed your life? Do you believe in signs that lead us to loved ones? Share your stories in the comments. If you believe in second chances for family, like and subscribe for more stories that prove miracles do exist. Share this with someone who needs hope. And if you believe destiny brought us together, type that below. Remember, no matter how much time passes or how many necessary secrets are kept true, family love will always find a way back. Sometimes the smallest details, like a family ring, open the doors to the most extraordinary reunions. See you next time with a new story that will make you believe in the magic of unbreakable family bonds.